A day in the life of a spiritual girl, Moon in Libra. Today is all about self-care. For the past few weeks, I've been putting myself last, neglecting my physical and mental health, and my body has started to show me signs. So today, I'm finally listening. Step 1 to self-care for me is getting back to eating healthy. My body specifically does the best when I'm feeding it lots of vegetables and fruit and drinking plenty of water. Step 2 to my self-care is cleaning up my space. Okay, so let's go back really quick to today being a Libra moon day. So when the moon, which has to do with our emotions, our personal needs, how we feel, and how we respond, when that is in the sign of Libra, what fulfills our emotions may include things that have to do with Libra themes, such as beauty, aesthetics, balance, fairness, love, relationships, and business partnerships. Think of the moon transits, aka when the moon is moving through a different sign than your own moon sign. Think of that as having the ability to experience a little bit of what it's like to have a moon in another sign. Knowing what sign the moon is in or transiting in is the correct term, and how it harmonizes with your actual moon sign really helps you to get a sense of how you may feel and why you may be feeling that way. For example, say you feel energized and productive one day and unable to concentrate or be productive another day. Well, when you're feeling productive and energized, the moon may be in a sign that is compatible with your actual moon sign. And when you may feel kind of off or not yourself, your moon could be in a sign that is not compatible with your moon sign. So you may feel kind of like torn between your feelings and other things like that. So at the end of this video, we'll reflect on how the moon in Libra played out in my life and how it affected my feelings. To see what sign the moon is in today for you, because this video is not going to be current to your day, you can check the description box and I will have several links that give you access to checking where the moon is or where the other planets are and everything like that. For the first time in a long time, I bought some new hair products. I re-upped on a few of my favorite hair products, and then I bought some new products to moisturize and style my curls. And I'm very excited to try it today. I bought it during the Black Friday sale, which I don't usually shop Black Friday, but I thought that it would be wise for me to look into it, especially because I knew I needed some more hair products. Oh my gosh. Great idea though, by the way, because I got a super good discount on all of these products. Alright, so the first one, I needed some more deep conditioner. I've been using this for a long time. I know a lot of you guys who follow my hair content will be like, this is kind of cool. It's a new thing. Plus I have my light over here, my little Galaxy light, the melanin plumping deep conditioner. And this stuff is amazing. My hair loves it. Yeah, like I'm all out pretty much of the old stuff. And then I haven't had this in a long time, but I finally saw that this is usually sold out, but this was available. The melanin multi-use softening leave-in conditioner. This is my stuff. I love this stuff. It smells amazing on top of that. Really, really good leave-in conditioner. It's lightweight, but it also really moisturizes your hair. And it has a lot of good, healthy ingredients. Guess what I'm trying? I'm so excited. I decided to try out the curls. line. I don't think I've ever used this before. Blueberry Bliss Curl Control. And I was like, you know what? I might as well go ahead and get the leave-in conditioner too on top of that. But yeah, I know I have two leave-in conditioners, but this leave-in conditioner I feel like it's just going to be mainly for styling if I want to like really style my curls. I feel like this leave-in conditioner can just be used for a lot of things. I don't know. I decided to get two because why not? I'm about to finally go do my hair. Say goodbye to this dry hair. I'm so excited.
It is your soul and must be restored. Impress the subconscious with the perfect ideas.
What? Do you guys see what I'm seeing right now? It's making the thing look blue. Let me turn the light on.
To let God do it. Eastern philosophy says, let the warrior within you fight. Countless times this idea.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen myself with my hair down in so long. I know I'm gonna need to trim some parts of my hair. I feel like I may have damaged it a little bit from lack of care. First of all, I feel so amazing. I feel such at peace. I feel so calm. I feel so like loved. I washed, I soaked in the tub. I did a lot of affirmations in my mind, which is something I'm learning about thanks to this book that I've been listening to, this audiobook of The Magic Path of Intuition. I was unsure about it when I first started listening to it, but the more I listened to it, I started to really get into it more. And maybe it's just because of the person that is reading it out loud. I don't know, but it's a great book, and it's changed my mind, and it made me realize, like what goes on in here, it just matters so much. And it's crazy because, I would say that I'm a person that lives in my mind a lot, but not always in the best way. And I realized how much I may be like blocking or manifesting or like the journey with me trying to overcome my worry and my anxiety. I didn't realize how these things, these negative thoughts in my mind and these bad scenarios that I play out and thinking about the worst outcome of all the time and just focusing on the negative and not trying to, but just like allowing my mind to go into this like just chaos of all the what ifs. And I'm just like, I don't want to be attracting this energy, you know? So I am on this let go and let God. I was actually talking to my mom and she's like on the same wave, but in a different way. But for me, I'm just like, I realize that it's not the best to try to be a control freak. As much as it feels safe, it has felt safe for me for a long time. It has potentially hindered me from my growth in a lot of things. So I am going to practice having faith, like I've talked about, you know, in my videos, and really let go and letting God, you know? And I'm going to use that for all the scenarios, not just like, oh, because I'm feeling good, but I'm going to try my best to believe that God is leading me on the path that I'm meant to be on. And whatever happens in my life is just a part of my journey. And, you know, it's the stepping stones, it's the steps that I need to walk through and get to for my path. I always thought that affirmations, like I never really understood affirmations until now, and it's like I always thought affirmations was kind of like corny. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I see the point, but is it necessary? And I'm like, for me, for a person who's trying to retrain their mind, you know, like retrain their thoughts still, for someone who lives in their mind and, you know, is trying to heal her worry and anxiety and all that stuff like that, I think that I need to actually really start using affirmations because it will help to reprogram my mind, my thoughts, how I think, you know? So I was like, wow, so maybe I should really start looking into that and adding that into my like daily or weekly practice. Because I kind of started doing that when I was sitting in the bathtub, but I was also manifesting too. I was just kind of like telling myself that I have the things that I want, you know, like just envisioning myself and pretending like I have it already. So I'm trying to do these things that honestly sounds really weird and so crazy, but the more I'm learning about this, the journey of connecting to yourself spiritually and being on a spiritual path, the things that sound cuckoo and crazy and like, yeah, okay, yeah, right, you think just thinking something, like the things that seem like, yeah, okay, like that type of thing is the things that you need to do. It's the things that you actually need to do, no matter how silly it may seem. So I'm gonna get silly. I'm gonna tap into my silly era. I'm just kidding. But I'm gonna do what I need to do, you know, and believe it and, you know, have the faith. I mean, this book is great. So far, so good. Since it's so late, I'm not going to style my curls right now. I'm just going to put some leave-in conditioner in it. And my plan was to go back to yoga today, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So this is day 2 of me getting my life together. Yesterday, me focusing on food, like getting my prepping, my meal, and my meal for the next week, or not even week, but my meal for the next couple of days, meal prepping, making food for this week, and getting back to my healthy eating, which took way longer because I had to cut everything and all this stuff. And then today seemed like it was more for like self-care, doing laundry and self-care and eating. eating. And eating healthy and stuff like that, and trying to get back to nourishing myself and giving myself some self-care and doing my hair and everything like that. And tomorrow will be the third and final day of me officially getting back on track, and also starting my yoga classes back. And I'm gonna have to double up some classes for some time so I can hopefully make the 30 day. I will make the 30-day challenge. Oh, it feels good to be almost back. Feels good. My body's so happy with me right now. Sometimes you gotta give yourself a kiss, you know?
And riches will. The universe is eternal, reliable, and unchangeable, but must be given the right of way.
I'm back, baby. Oh, it feels good. It feels so good to be back. I'm definitely gonna need to trim my ends a little bit, but we'll do that later this year. Hair is moisturized. Okay, hello. I know this is like my podcast setup, but the bootleg version, because I'm filming on a phone and I am in loungewear and I'm just chilling. Hair not did, just chilling. But I thought it would be kind of cool and helpful, not really cool, but more helpful to, like I said, my goal is to show you guys how astrology plays out in real life and how I use it to help me better understand myself and become the girl of my dreams. Many planets mean different things, as we've been talking about, as I've been telling you guys about planet transits and everything like that. And I don't know how many people, it's just like first beginners. Matter of fact, if you can do this for me, it will be so helpful for me to kind of get an understanding of like where everybody is when it comes to astrology. Can you just please put in the comments section, if you are a beginner at astrology and astrology transits, can you just type the comment beginner so I know and I can talk to you guys like a beginner? Or if you're not a beginner and you understand astrology transits, then just say not a beginner. In this video, the moon was in Libra, and I wanted to point out and like kind of look at and see how the moon in Libra affected my days, because this video showed 2 days throughout my life, and both of those days the moon was in Libra. So I kind of just wanted to talk about like some of the themes and how the moon in Libra affected like my feelings and stuff like that. And what I notice usually when the moon is in Libra, for me, kind of just like paying more attention to how I feel when the moon is in each sign. I have an Aries moon, and my Aries moon is located in my first house. The first house represents yourself, your appearance, how you appear to other people, your body. So it's your house of self, identity. So now that you know that, we're going to go back to the Libra. So on this day, the moon was transiting in the sign of Libra. Okay. So on December 7th, the moon in Libra was transiting through my 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So now, if we stop right there, we can see that my actual moon sign, which is in Aries, is in the first house of self, right? Like focusing on myself, like I feel the best typically. And I'll go more into topics about like where I may do more videos about like what does it mean to have Aries moon and what does it mean to have Aries moon in the first house. But if you connect that the moon represents your feelings and your emotions and your body, and my moon is in the first house, that means that I feel the best when I really being independent and doing what I want and bettering myself and my body and expressing myself. So then when I go look at where the moon was transiting in, it was transiting in a house, an area that's completely opposite from myself. It's turning my attention over from myself to like my personal, close, intimate relationships. So that's it. We already know that the first house is the self and the seventh house is relationships. So then let's talk about the signs. So we already know that that's kind of the opposite, obviously, as far as the placement of the where the moons are. As far as the houses, they're opposite houses, okay? So we already know there's going to be some like maybe friction because I'm being pulled in different ways. There we go. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm also trying to understand it myself. Astrology is just interesting because you just learn something new every day. Plus, I don't really talk about my astrology out loud. This is a new thing for me to try to like share my findings and what I've noticed and put it into words that other people can understand. So yeah, so this is like practice for me too. So anyway, so we see that. So now let's think about the signs. Aries, if you know anything about astrology, Aries is the opposite of Libra. They're opposite signs, okay? So they're typically not compatible, but there are a lot of cases where it seems like, you know, it's so funny because there's a lot of Libra and Aries couples, and it's either like they either are like peanut butter and jelly, or they totally hate each other. Like I can give examples like, well, I know two people. They are like big influencers and they're people that I've like watched and known. The first one, and I don't know if you guys are going to know this, but it's there. I watched this sexologist and her name is Shan Boodram. I feel like most people should know her. She's an Aries and her husband is a Libra. And then another Aries and Libra is Halle Bailey. She's an Aries. Don't ask me how I know this, okay? As an astrologer, you kind of like, low key don't want to, not as an astrologer. Did I just call myself an astrologer? As someone who loves astrology way too much. I mean, really appreciates astrology, okay? I do look up people's signs, okay? And when I say people, celebrities, especially when I hear about a celebrity, I'm always curious how, like, also, like, when I hear about a couple, I'm always curious, like, what are their signs, because it's always cool to see, like, oh, okay, sometimes it makes sense and sometimes you're just like, but anyways, Halle is an Aries and her boyfriend DDG, I think his name. I know he's a big YouTuber. I mean, I don't really watch him, but he is a Libra. So yeah, and I know there's a bunch of others too that I just can't think of right now. But that dynamic is like they really love you. I mean, obviously they're in a relationship, so it works. But then there's the opposite matter where they they clash a lot. And that is an example of that would be Kim Kardashian, who's a Libra, and her sister Kourtney Kardashian, who's an Aries. And they clash a lot. And it makes sense. I mean, if you are into astrology, you're just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because their signs are opposite. So anyways, so their focuses are on two different things. Aries tends to be like kind of self-focused. Aries is like the child of the horoscope, and Libra is the very opposite of that. Libra likes to focus on other people. So with all of that knowledge, I'm able to understand that, and this always plays out, when there's a Libra moon or on days where I feel conflicted with my emotions. And it's not like a huge deal, but it's just like, when you just don't feel in tune, like you just feel kind of like a little off balance and you feel like you're kind of being pulled. There you go. When the transiting moon is in an opposite sign of your natal moon, you're going to feel like you're being pulled different ways. Okay. So with that being said, I don't show relationship stuff really on my videos, so you guys wouldn't know this. But on the first day, especially December 7th, which is when the moon was in my 7th house, because also just because the moon is in Libra doesn't mean that it's going to stay in your 7th house, if that makes sense. Like if you see a chart, and I'll put an example up here somewhere. Let's go to Cindy, actually. Let's go to Cindy girl example really quick, because the moon may be transiting the same sign, but it may have entered a different house. All right, so we pulled up Cindy girls, our example chart that we always use. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So let's see. Let me click on the transits to show the transiting. And we'll see that right now the moon is in Sagittarius. So right now we can see that the moon in Sagittarius is transiting through her 5th house right here. So you'll be able to see on the screen. But later on, as the moon gets to a later degree, because this is an early degree, because also the moon is also, so how do I describe this? As the moon is transiting, it's transiting through degrees. Right now, today, as I'm recording this video, on Monday, December 11th, yes, I'm recording this the same day that I'm going to be putting out. Okay. Yeah. We're not going to talk about it. But I can see, and I'll screenshot it right here for you guys so you guys can see. The moon says it's 4 Sagittarius. So that means it's 4 degrees of Sagittarius. So then you will go to your chart and you'll look at, which a lot of charts don't tell you like 4 degrees. Like, I mean, there's some charts, but some not you have to have a very specific chart that tells you that. But I usually just look at, like, if it's at the top of the Sagittarius, which is in this area, you'll know that it's an early Sagittarius. But if it's in the later sign, in the later part of Sagittarius, then you know it's in a later degree, if that makes sense. It's okay if none of this makes sense. Trust me. It took it took a while for me to understand, but the more that you implement it and learn every day, or you just watch my videos every day, then you'll understand, okay? Okay, so based on this example, when Sagittarius gets to a later sign, it will be transiting out of her 5th house and transiting into her 6th house, okay? Because it will be in a later sign. And her 6th house starts off with Sagittarius and then goes to Capricorn, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So in the first half of the video, that was on December 7th. And December 7th was a day that was heavily focused around my boyfriend. There are some things going on in his life, and I had to be there for him. And without telling his business, yeah, I had to just be there for him. But it was in the midst of me, like, trying, like, I think it was in the midst of me, like, realizing that I needed to focus. Like I told you guys, my side has been hurting and stuff like that. And I wanted to, like, start, like, taking care of myself. So kind of around the time that his situation happened, you know, that he needed, like, help, you know, with support or whatever. I'm like, in the midst of that, I was like preparing for me to have, like, to make time for me to have, like, self-care. I was kind of depleted because I had overworked myself for a long time, and I'm like, okay, I need some self-care time. I need to get my life together. I need to clean. I need to eat healthy and all this stuff like that. So yeah, it happened, like, at the kind of not the best timing because I was already, like, drained and I have been lacking my self-care. So, but yeah, on that day I had to, like, obviously be there for him. So I did. That was a great example. And and you did see me, like, I was able to at least, as you guys saw, I was able to do some meal prepping. I went to the grocery store. I got some food. I got the salads and I got all the healthy foods, and I was able to meal prep, but that's all I got done that day. And the original plan was for me to wake up early and meal prep, go to the grocery store, get all the goods, you know, the good food, healthy food, meal prep, clean, do my hair, take a cleansing bath, I had my everything, but because of how just the timing of everything, that's all I had time to do. And I needed to, like, obviously, be with my boyfriend. So, yeah, so that's a good example of, like, my heart, like, wanting to, like, focus on myself, or, like, even, like, yeah, I was like, I had to neglect, like, where my true feelings usually go to, which is, like, this makes me sound really, like, self-centered, by the way, So I'm like, well, yeah, normally I just want to focus on myself. But no, like I'm very much a person that like I like to help people. Okay. I love helping people. I'm an Aquarius sun. Okay. First of all, but my most intimate self, like the people who are the most closest to me, knows that like when you pull back all the layers of me, like really like my big purpose in life is to help people. But when to make me feel the best, I have to continue lighting the drive to keep creating and take care of myself in ways that are going to fuel my creativity and give me the fuel to be able to do what I want to do. And that's very much Aries, and be able to express myself. I love like expressing my creativity, expressing my feelings, trying new things. So that's a good example, and that's an observation that I have noticed about when the moon is transiting Libra. I usually have a lot of feelings towards or there's like either I have feelings towards, or there's partners that needs their feelings tended to and stuff like that. Which obviously I like to do, but sometimes it may come in a situation to where, like I said, it's like where I'm needing to like focus on myself, or I'm putting like my own like feelings or needs to the side to like show up and be there for others. And it doesn't have to just be my boyfriend. It could just be like just personal relationships. And then in the second day, it transited from my 7th house. The moon in Libra transited from my 7th house into my 8th house of like hidden feelings, intense emotions. I guess you could say, yeah, like death and rebirth and transformation and everything like that. But usually when the moon is in the 8th house, that means that your feelings are the most hidden. Your feelings are the most hidden in that house, and you probably want to be like alone and to yourself, and somehow you're going through like maybe either and you feel strongly or intense emotions about something, or you're wanting to do things that make you feel like you're transforming yourself in some way. Or like I said, you may just want to be like left alone and be in your own emotions, and you may be feeling strongly about something. But then when you think about it in a Libra way, that's a good question. What would be a Libra theme in the 8th house? I guess what you saw. I maybe like Libra thing is like beauty and aesthetics, and I did a self-care routine, and I was left alone. Like I finally felt like good. If you see in the video, I'm just like, oh, like this is what I needed right here. I needed to be like away from the world and other people, and like I love my boyfriend, but just needed to be away and just be in solitude with like myself. And then I was doing my hair, but I was also like listening to a book about intuition, and which I feel like it's like an 8th house theme. And like it was literally and like the book was like transforming my thoughts, like I definitely feel like that book like made me think in a different way because it was teaching me certain things. So I'm obviously still learning, but that gives me 8th house. Let me look. See, there's like sites that I could go to that explains to you. There's sites that I can go to that kind of gives you descriptions of like what does it mean when you're, and I'll leave these in the description box below. I'm gonna just share. You know what? I'm in a sharing mood. I mean, everything is out there for free, and obviously like if I had to find these things on my own over time. And yeah, like why not help you guys out? You guys are like my internet friends, okay? So of course I'm gonna help you out. So I'll link everything. Okay, I'm gonna read you guys both, okay? I'm just gonna, since we're here, why not? So this is how I learn. Ew, my lips keep touching this. So this is how I learn, okay? So I'll obviously link the source and everything like that. I'm not taking credit for any of this. Okay, so on Cafe Astrology, it says So this is the moon transiting the 7th house. It says close personal and business relationships are highlighted now. How you feel about your close relationships or partnerships will largely determine your mood through these 2 to 3 days. You might have emotional confrontations now, or warm, nurturing relationship, or warm, nurturing relations again, depending on your current circumstances. Sometimes this transit correlates with the need for consultation, and usually one-on-one relationships figure. An increased need to be with people, to socialize, and to compromise are featured during the transit. More attention to physical appearance and attractiveness, as well as graciousness, could also figure. You are in the position to learn about yourself by listening to others. The need to create or maintain a harmonious environment dominates now, but getting to that point can entail some conflict. Feeling emotional about your relationships could also figure now. So yeah, that was very on point. So, and that's another thing I want to say. Okay, so that's a great, thank you. Another thing I was going to say is, so yeah, another like, conflict of feeling, that I may experience, or, that I may experience when the moon is transiting my Libra house, another experience, or like conflict of emotions. There we go. That's the word. Conflict of emotions I may experience when the moon is transiting Libra is like, yeah, I may feel like I want to connect with people, or I may feel like I want to do certain things, but it'll be more in conflict with my Aries, my independent Aries that want to do things on their own and whatever, but it may, yeah. And I will have to think of like somewhere I have to, I'm going to be filming my life quite often. So we'll see, the next time the moon is in Libra, we'll see how it plays. We see how it plays out. But yeah, this time, like I said, I was like, I had to tend to my boyfriend, which, actually we had a really good time. Like we were very like love, like I felt like I was very loving and supportive, and I was there for him, and I felt like I was harmonizing the situation, like I was helping him through what he was going through, and I was there as a supportive person, and I was creating, like I felt like I was really like in tune with like my like Venetian Libra moon, so yeah. And yes, so I get the need to create or maintain a harmonious environment dominates now. Like I felt like I was doing that for him. Feeling emotional about your relationships could also figure now. And I definitely, I felt like it was an emotional time for us as well too. So that's just a little example. I can go on and on for that. So let's go to, I should have brought my water up here because now I'm getting thirsty. All right, so then let's look at the moon transiting the 8th house. It says there can be a hunger now for deeper experiences and more powerful bonds. Emotional commitments come in focus during 2 to 3 days of this transit. You are looking for more meaning in your life, and any activity that stirs your emotions attracts. On a more mundane level, money and possessions could be emotional issues now. Be aware that you could overreact to matters during this transit, finding it hard to detach yourself emotionally in order to look at life objectively. You are not as sociable during this brief trend, preferring to analyze and feel out your life's circumstances than to put yourself out there. And that's so true. That's very on point with how I felt. As I'm having the best time away to analyze like how I feel about like everything, like how I'm able to feel and show up for my boyfriend during, the time that he needs it, but also like stepping away and taking the time to take care of myself, finish doing this whole self-care thing, but also like reading the book, which was very eye-opening. You know what? Also, was that the day I gave my boyfriend a reading? Because he let me give him a reading one of these days. And I was like, whoa, like he's never like been into, he's not, like I said, he's very open-minded, but he's also like And I get it. Not everybody, like I said, you don't have to use astrology. Like, let's make that clear. It's just a helpful tool that you can use if you would like to. And like I said, people like me who wants to understand, who questions life more and wants to understand the deeper parts of life, and always, you know, I've always just resonated with astrology since I was young. So like I totally respect, but I do still tell him certain things about his chart, you know, which I feel like, you know, at first he was like not trying to listen, but now that he's seen like stuff play out in real life, because there's some things that are like so literal, and it's just crazy like when things play out in your life, but then when you start like paying attention to your partner's chart and your families or whatever, friends, and you start seeing how the transits and certain things play out in their life, it's just crazy. And an obvious thing to point out was that I just so happened to, and let me tell you, I don't be looking at the signs. Like, I really try my best to not look at signs or look at where the moon is or look at really anything. Like, sometimes I will, but most of the time I will wait until the end of the day to look at my astrology. Unless there's just something going on in my life where I'm like, okay, I need to see what the astrology is saying right now because I'm feeling this overwhelming feeling, or something major happened in my life. And I'm like, oh no, I need to see where my astrology is. But usually, other than that, like, I'm not looking because I always like to be surprised. I want to know, like, oh, I didn't even know anything about this. And like, wow, look, the moon was in Libra. Oh, wow, I ended up finally doing my hair after days of rescheduling it, and wow, look, the time that the moon is in Libra, which is a sign about beauty, I'm doing my hair, and the day that I decide to make a beautiful aesthetic looking bathroom and spa bathroom situation, oh, is the time that the moon was in Libra about aesthetics. Oh, and the time that I was like very, you know, focused with my boyfriend, around my boyfriend and everything like that. Oh, the moon was in Libra, you know, like stuff like that. That is my interpretation and my reflection on how the moon in Libra affected me on this day. So